Zombie apocalypse.
Good day, Bisset students. Time check, it's already 12:42 in the morning. Maybe some of you are wondering why Sir Kenji recorded, and later on I'll be uploading this video to our Google class, or maybe you will observe or view this in your group chats. Simply because today I will be discuss and present to you the content of our technical report. I posted there last time your the format so that you will be guided in coming up with your project. As we agreed last time, supposed to be we will be having our online class. Unfortunately, due to my internet connection status, I still find it hard to connect, and still often it lags. That's why I decided to record and send to you this video. So without further ado, here's now the content of our technical report. Okay, so if you will notice, I also uploaded this 2 days ago. There's something to do on what will be your individual electronics project. So you have three options. It's for you to decide what will it be. So you have the two-tone doorbell, the clock operated switch, and the solar mobile phone charger. Don't worry, class. If you find this difficult, or let's say the one factor will be the availability of the materials, preferably the components, as well as the time that you're going to consume working on this project and your capability to build it. So you may also suggest other projects subject for my approval. Okay, so next I will be showing to you the format of our what do you call this, individual project, the technical report. Okay, this is now the sample template. I uploaded this this past few days also, and this is the content of your technical report. So I will discuss one by one each part. So the first part, class, is has something to do with your profile picture, a 2x2 size. You have to upload that with the one that you use in your Google account or your ID. If you have, you can upload this. And below are the basic information about you, which includes your name, the course, your year and section, student number, and until the title of your project. For this given example, the project that I use is the electronics mosquito pester, and you will also notice that I also included the summary. You just have to sum up what is your project is all about, your experiences while doing the project, and a summary of your findings and conclusions after you made the project. So one paragraph will be enough to present the first page of your technical report. Okay. Before anything else, class, when we say technical report, it's a documentation. It has a template or a format that discuss or present the details of your project. Okay, the first part is the provides you the basic you should provide the basic information. At the same time, class, the summary of your project. On the second page, you will see same thing, the title and your course and the project number. Since we have this pandemic and the one that we call global pandemic crisis, I decided to reduce from 6 projects to at least 2 or 3 for consideration, and since we find it hard to have our laboratory, since we don't have a face-to-face interaction. Another thing is the introduction. On this part, they will be give us a brief background on why did the researcher come up with this study. You could share to us your past or experiences that led you to come up with this project. You may also include the concept, a simple concept of this project. How does it work? How does it operate? So, since this example was used in ELS 24, and we're just starting, and you are just starting, 2 or 3 paragraphs will do. Okay. The next part, class, is the operation. Here, you have to discuss what major component did you use in order for your project to work or operate. In my case, I use a piezoelectric disc or a piezoelectric disc. It's a 35 millimeters. It is the component responsible for emitting or producing sound waves that cannot be heard by a human being. Instead, mosquitoes and insects. It has a certain frequency that makes the mosquitoes irritates, and to let them repel or stay away. So it also include the specification of the component. So I suggest, class, to Google and look for the personal data sheet of the component. You don't need to research one by one. The features, the operations, the how the components will be placed. All of the details are included in the data sheet. Okay. Next uh, is the parts list. In this stage or part, you're going to list down or enumerate the different components that you use, not only the electronic parts but also the materials that you use in constructing or building this project. Okay, including the quantity, the price. I should present it in a matrix format so that it can be easily seen, and in this part you're going to determine all of your expenses when you build this project. Aside from that, the next part, class, is the tools and equipment. What are the what are the tools and equipment that you use in order for you to build this project? Okay, and after the tools and equipment, the design. Here, you may use CAD softwares, mobile app that has something to do with designing the circuits or the intrinsic details of your project. So what drawings should I need for you to submit this project? I need the schematic diagram, the circuitry and its operations, the PCB layout, where um, it's where the components will be placed. It looks like a circuit, and the component layout. So here it's a pictorial drawing representing or showing the placement of the components. Another design that you're going to submit is the orthographic view. If you can still recall, in technical drawing 1 and 2, I already discussed with you, class, the technicalities, the um, the uh, the principal views needed in proper representation of the design um, in your project. You should include the principal views as well as its dimensions. Okay, this is the part. Aside from, once you already built your circuit, you need to have a protection by means of an enclosure on your project. Okay, and the last is you just take a picture of your final output or design of your project. Now we know the design aspect. needed for the project, let us now proceed to the steps or the procedures. Here in this part, you have to discuss or present to us the step by step how the researcher or you were able to build the electronics project. From starting from assessment of materials, designing, um, how to use the PCB etching, and then um, until you come up with the layout, until you place the components and test the operation of your device. Actually, class, this is a simple preparation for you for your research, because aside from workshop in most of the major subjects in electronics, you will have a subject called electronics research design. You will do the same thing and also present to us. It's more vivid, it's more detailed than the technical report. Okay, so now we're done with the step-by-step process. The last part is the findings and recommendation. In this stage, you will cite your reasons based on your findings, the experiences you encountered when you build this, let's say the pester, the totem doorbell, or the solar mobile phone charger. And aside from the findings, you will also include the recommendations. These are the suggestions that you may consider for future researchers or students who will adapt your project. This will serve as their springboard for or inspiration if they want to pursue this study or project. So, class, now we are done with the format of individual project, the technical report. Let us now proceed to the um, the proposed midterm requirement. So as we agreed, and with the consensus of everyone, you decided to come up with this project, wherein you'll be using active component for your group electronics project. So if you can still recall, last time I provided you topics or discussion about about electronic components. We know electronic components play an important role for the for to the circuitry of the project, and the device will not work or operate without its components. And components, this is just a minor review, can be classified into two. We have the passive, just like resistor, inductor, and capacitor, and we have the active component. We have the diode, transistor. Here, we will be using a type of transistor known as TIP32C. It's a positive type of transistor. Aside from this component, you will also, I ask you to research on these materials, okay? The mini micro submersible pump, based on what I have researched, its estimated price is 120, but some of your classmates do their research and they found out that it's less than 100 pesos. And we also have the infrared obstacle sensor. This will be the one responsible for the sensing once as a trigger or switch for our project to work operate. By the way, your group project has something to do with a technology that can help us to be sanitized, to get rid away from this global health crisis known as the corona or the COVID-19. Is we will come up with an automatic DIY alcohol dispenser. So these are the components needed that I mentioned earlier. Aside from the sensor, we'll be using 1 kilo ohm resistor and this Android cable. This is for your mobile. This can be found to your mobile phones. Class, once and for all, let me remind you that I didn't require you to buy all these materials. You can look for or search for components that you use in your previous project, or if you have um, broken equipment or device, you can search for the component. I repeat, I didn't require you to buy all these components. Okay, considering your situation and the financial aspect. So, as we agreed upon, your midterm requirement has something to do with automatic DIY alcohol dispenser. Okay, so now after we're done with the your midterm project, let us now proceed to your template or your technical report. Okay, so here, just like an individual technical report, though it has a similar format, it will depend on the number of the members and its responsibilities. Okay, the first part is the picture of your project, and below are the members. They have to insert their photo or picture. The members, it's up to you. If you can still recall, I asked you to group yourselves, maybe 4 or 5 members per group. Choose your leader, and this is an example of a group project. This was done last year. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we were not able to finish this project. So the team comprises of the team leader, programmer, circuit or hardware connection, somebody who is in charge for the circuitry, how he or she going to connect and place the components. Somebody also will be in charge for making the document report. Each one of you or each members has key roles and responsibilities in building this project. And somebody will be in charge for prototyping and publication. Maybe he or she will be the one who will make an enclosure for the project. So aside from the now we know the first part of our group technical report. Class, you need just provide us the basic information. Okay, here in the second part, just like in your individual technical report, you're going to discuss to us the background of your topic. It could be experiences. 1 or 2 paragraphs will do, and include the references. Kindly recognize the sources so that we're for protection purposes, and let us acknowledge the proper author. Okay, if you cited an article from an internet source, acknowledge him. Okay, we can use the APA or here we'll be using APA format. Next is the operation, or simply discuss to us how your device works or operate and what its function, how does it work, and the manner on how the device will perform its function. Okay, you will also include the datasheet. I cited here a note. These are just samples. Make or do your own research. So as I've said, it's very important to have a datasheet, particularly on the main component of your project. Maybe time will come, you will have your own research. If you are not familiar on the function operation of the component, better resort to datasheet. Okay, so okay, aside from that, you will also include the parts list represented in a matrix form, and you will present to us the amount or the total expenses when you build this project. Also included the tools and equipment and the design aspect. Okay, you will be it's like in a form of a working drawing, but in an electronics presentation, because when you conceptualize, before you come up with your project, you need to present to us the design. So one way is through you may present it through a circuit diagram, a PCB layout, a component layout and orthographic, and the final output of your project. Let us now proceed to the procedures. This, as I've mentioned earlier, just like in your individual technical report, you will present to us the step-by-step process on how you were able uh, to to build the device or project. It needs a caption followed by a picture that would serve as an evidence on how you build your project. So that's it. And for the last part, what are your findings and recommendation? So findings, what have you observed? What have you experienced? What are the things that you found out after or during the building process of your uh, it's a detailed, as I've said, technical report as detailed presentation of your project. And last is the recommendation. So class, this is the format of your technical report. Okay, so if you have questions, clarifications, you can visit our group page in Facebook. You can also email me. You have already my account, my email ad, and or if not, you can DM me through our messenger. Okay, so thank you for listening and have a good day, everyone.
Zombie apocalypse.